So I'm back and I'm going to continue because I got cut off. I encourage strong-mindedness and mindfulness, and I believe that that's really all we need to swag life out sometimes. But I know that there's shit that goes left a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? So, and those things I ain't talking about. I talk about what I think I know. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so this is going to be part 2 because my SD card ran out of space again. But I hit so many good points last night, and I really just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget them, because I could have been lazy, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to do that. So let's get into it, all right? Let's pick up where we left off. I left off ranting. I was sharing how one of the thoughts that I have is how do I replace my thoughts, my darker shadow thoughts, with new lighter thoughts for myself, brighter thoughts, happier thoughts, positive thoughts, okay? So basically what I did was, and when I say shadow, you guys just think of negative. Those of you that don't, you're not going to understand some of the terminology that I use because I speak from like a real spiritual point of view. Like I don't really look at anything in life surface based, face based. Like I don't take shit at its face. Like there's always something deeper than what's face value, and then whatever I see after face value, there's something deeper than that, and there's something deeper than that. And I'm that type of person where I want to zero in at the root of whatever's the intention behind any of your behaviors or actions or thought processes or whatever. So that's how I look at things. So when I say shadow, just understand that I'm referring to the subconscious mind, the negative side of self, the things that are undone within persons, within people. Sorry, it's early. I need my coffee. Okay. So, let's get back. Okay, so while I was meditating and I was doing things like that, that was really good, but that was more good for my spirit and my soul. When I was resting and meditating, that allowed me to understand that there were some things that somehow it allowed me enough time to get to, the point of there's something wrong that I'm not happy with. There's something about myself. And it's not something wrong like, oh, like I'm broken, I'm chemically imbalanced, not those types of things. It was more of like a root thing, a spiritual thing. I had to get my mind strong. So I had to do the undoing. Okay? So a part of the undoing is the replacing the negative thoughts, shadow thoughts, with positive ones. Point of the matter is you have to replace your thoughts with new thoughts, your sick thoughts with healthy thoughts. That's what you have to do. That's exercising. That's undoing. You have to take a very conscious approach to the undoing, because now you have to have a real seat with yourself. You have to have a real seat with yourself and be real honest about all the things that you don't like or that you fear or that you are feeling. You have to really take an inventory of those things and really go through them and say, okay, this shit happened to me. This made me feel this way. This affected me this way. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta approach it now like this and move on from it. This is what I learned from it. Whatever it occurred when you were younger or in the past, or whatever your situation is, whatever the things are, whatever those boxes are in your mind, okay, then you have to go through and you have to start touching again, and you have to start pinpointing again. You have to start looking at those things and saying like, okay, I'm going to sort through these emotions, and I'm going to, whatever comes up, I'm going to now go into those files deeper. Okay, like I feel fear when I think about this thing. And now let me go into that. And why do I feel fearful? And I'm going to show you these questions. And those are the things that you're going to ask yourself whenever there's emotions popping up during your depression. Okay? All right. Now, this is how I would talk to myself when I started to go, because the dark days of depression are really heavy. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like you getting out of that bitch. It don't feel like it. It feels like you in a place that no one really could reach you. It doesn't matter how close people are around you. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you far. But I assure you, you can reach you yourself. This is how I dealt with it. Okay? I went through this phase where I was just like, no matter what, I was reaching out. and I wanted my mom, I felt like I needed my mother at the time, that I was going through my depression. You see, my family, I was born and raised in Coney Island in Brooklyn, along with my mom, my dad, and my brother. And when I was about 17, so around there, 17, 18, my parents they've been had the house in Florida, but they had moved to the house. And then shortly after, my brother started to follow them and went down there too. So I don't have my immediate support, team here. And so that put me to feel really alone. And then, relationships in and out of things, that's what you wind up becoming family with. And then that shit starts, people come and go. You fall out of relationships, you discover shit you don't want. You know what I'm saying? Things shift. So when I got into my depression, it was an influx of being alone without my immediate core structure, and then the back and forth of in and out of relationships, abandonment issues, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, those things was kicking up for me. So when I was going through my healing, I had to really sort through everything, but it all triggered those things. You know what I'm saying? Lack of relationships and strong, secure relationships with lovers kicked up abandonment issues with my family. You understand? So I had to sort it through. I was having so many different feelings. At that time, I felt like I was alone, and I called for my mother to come. And my mom's came down, much to her dismay. She came, and then I was like a bitch to her. Like, I was so unhealthy for my mom. People don't understand that when we're depressed, depression looks a lot like healing, and healing looks a lot like depression. You know what I'm saying? Like, things that people want to do, like, oh, let's do this so you can feel better. Let's do this so you can feel better. Like, one of the main things I love to do to make me feel good is shopping. You know what I'm saying? I'm a chick. I like to shop. I like to spend bread. I like to have, like, nice shit. I mean, I love experiencing good shit. I love eating out. I love really good quality food. I love dressing up and being seen and shown off. I love those things. When I'm depressed, those are the last fucking things that I want to do. Or if I'm doing them, I don't give a fuck how I'm presenting myself, because I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks, and I'm just like in that space of like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So whenever my mother was reaching out to me to bring me out of my depression, I just could not, because I really wanted to heal. And nobody understands that. Sometimes they're like, oh, they're negative. They want to be in that space of depression and darkness, but that stuff is healing us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're inside. The work we're retracted and retreated to inside. We're in our own minds. Some people don't have healthy shit in their minds. This is why I'm making this video, because I want to tell you how depression is pretty much like a healing process. You understand? Like, you have to stop calling it depression. Once again, this is how I looked at myself. This is how I told myself. So I had to strip myself down. I had to strip all these belief systems down. And I started to say, I want to heal. So there was days that I didn't get up out my bed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would get up, I would go into the bath, I would sit in the tub for hours, sulk, cry, go through whatever I went through, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I write a lot when I'm depressed. I journal everything. I mean, I've been like that since I was a kid. I have diaries since the first time I could ever write. My mom's been buying me journals and diaries and telling me to write. So that's how I've always dealt with my depressions. But all these years of healing, all these depressions, or whatever depressions I will go through these healing processes. So the last one, the most recent one, it was bad. I started to think like, yo, like, something's wrong with me, like, OD, like, wow, this last one was pretty heavy, you know? I mean, it was short, but it was heavy. It was a short, heavy depression. You know what I'm saying? And I was always like, wow, like a feared depression. Like, oh my God, I hope a depression doesn't onset. Like, as if I had no control over this shit. You know what I'm saying? As if this was a whole other thing that was occurring outside of me. That just cannot be. That cannot be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I refuse to believe that. I now understand it as it's me when I've allowed my mind to be weak. When I've created weak habits for myself. When I've allowed things, you know, like when you don't keep your mind exercised and strong, your thoughts can attack you. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a strong-minded person. So that's the key to this depression. So depression, and so I started to look at it like, the depression like, I'm being healed by sorting this shit out. So yeah, I might sit in my bed all day. And yeah, I might, think about things and overthink about them and want to revisit these things and keep talking about them and keep purging it. It takes time. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. And every day that I did one more thing that was less depressed than the next, I celebrated that shit inside myself. In myself, I celebrated it. I probably didn't let nobody know. And even my mom was good about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you gotta look at it. Well, today you got up. You know what I'm saying? Today you brushed your teeth. Today you did this, you did that. Today you got up and you made your bed. You might have not got out your pajamas, but you cleaned up the house. Today you did this. Today you did that. And it's important for you to say, I'm going to celebrate and give myself credit for those things that I'm doing, that I'm getting up and I got the zest and the zeal to do. It's important because that's the stuff that's going to give you hope for tomorrow. And if tomorrow you don't feel like getting up, then you just wasn't well enough. You just might have not been well enough. And that's okay because you're still going through the process of healing. Sometimes there's phases and sometimes we fall back depending on how we're behaving. Okay? And that's important. This is why it's important that while you're healing and you're in your depression, you gravitate to the most good thing next to you. So your friends, I'm telling you, I'm begging you guys, friends of the depressed, lovers of the depressed, family of the depressed. You might not even know they're depressed. So your things that you're engaging with them, you got to always check on them. If you know that they've already gone through bouts of depressions and things like that, and it's hard for them than it is the average person, you got to make sure that you pull up for your friends. And when they're going through those times, you can't be vibrating low because they're in a dangerous low place. Okay? They're in a dangerous zone. It's like a thermometer, and like it's normal. We all have this thermometer inside of us. Okay? You got the high frequencies and the low frequencies. But when you drop too low, it's dangerous. That's when it gets, the thoughts of depression, suicide, and things like that start to occur. So you can't be the friend that if you live in the higher realms of the low, you can't be like, come on, let's go get fucked up. You can't be like that. They might go with it not knowing and thinking like, oh, they're on a high vibe and everything like that. But when you got all those low, dark thoughts inside of you, you can't just be fucking around with those things. You can't just be doing things like that because there's many people that, have that dark shit inside of them. So anyway, whatever. I think I mentioned that in the first video. I'm hoping and praying it's in there because I can't remember. I hit on so many important parts of depression. These are the things that light bulbed in my dark places when I was doing my healing, and I was like, wow, these are the things that I gotta cling to. These are the ideas that I gotta replace my old negative thoughts with so I can save my own life. You understand? And this is why I feel like it's my responsibility to make these videos, because this is, if I saved myself and I had all this information inside of me, I had to share it with people like y'all, because I love people, you know what I'm saying? Like this is my job, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's my job to let y'all know, like, yo, man, there's another way. Okay, so anyway, back to what it is. So healing looks a lot like depression, okay? You guys want to start knowing that it's not a depression, it's a healing process, and it's necessary. It's a must. You need to do it. It needs to occur so you can clean out the old stuff and make room for the new things that are coming in, okay, in your life. And you could be able to celebrate. You could be able to go out and drink. You could be able to say, you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I could get into a love relationship. I can mother or father some children and whatever without those old traumas affecting other people or yourself, okay? Depression is while I sipped this, it just came to me. I just had a vision of a woman. Let me just tell y'all. I just got to start being honest with y'all. Y'all going to think that I'm weird or whatever. But I get visions and I get all types of messages. So, all right. Just now I was sipping this coffee. I had a vision of a woman being in her bed and being mad depressed and not being able to raise her children. And not that she doesn't love her children and not that, whatever the case, but she just gets really, really depressed. So for whoever's watching this, if you're out there, then maybe this message is for you. But she's depressed. It's not that she can't show up, but she's not showing up as her best self. And she's not in her highest vibration. And she's depressed. And it's hard and whoever loves her husband or whatever, they love her, but it's looked at like it's something that she can't help. But the truth of the matter is she's unhappy with him. and she doesn't know how to heal that. She doesn't know how. She's going through a term in her life where she needs to heal that, and she's not healing that, and so she's staying quiet for whatever reasons, but those reasons are going against her inner self. For whoever's that, I'm sorry, let me not, because that's not what this video is about. All right, anyway. Wow, and my heart just skipped a couple beats. All right. Well, I'll be getting heart palpitations. Oh, it's crazy. All right. It's probably the fucking coffee and my weird ass. Anyway, point of the matter is the healing is necessary, you guys. You got to heal, but you got to be honest. That's the whole point of the healing. You got to be honest. So if you're going to be in the house and you feel like you don't want to get out of the bed, then you do some healing while you're in there. You know, you want to sulk and cry all day and it's misery for you. Cool. But you know what? Re-go through those ideas and find why. You're going to ask yourself questions and start being really honest with yourself and start looking at yourself and say, you know what? Those are the things I want to replace with these kinds of things. And stop being afraid of it, because you need to grow it. You need to grow it. Okay? Or the depression will constantly be this, or the behavior in your life will constantly be this. Some days will be better than others, but it's not so much as it's a chemical imbalance. It's just really you afraid to approach the things inside of you that scare the fuck out of you, quite frankly. Okay. Numbing out, the self-sabotage. Okay. Self-sabotage is a symptom, and numbing out is also a symptom. These are behavior patterns. These are beliefs and symptoms. That you want to, give me antidepressants, give me painkillers, give me drugs. Let me attach myself to other behaviors like shopping, like relationships, like people, and then you put your burdens on other people. It's like a passive trauma. Okay, these are symptoms of depression. These are not cures for depression. These are not healthy tactics for depression. The only way that's healthy to deal with the depression is to go through the depression. And don't call it depression. It's a healing process. It's a healing process that causes for you to really pour out those boxes. Like I said, like look at it like you're in your mind, and your mind is this huge warehouse full of empty boxes, and it's your job and your responsibility to take inventory of everything that's in those boxes, throw out what you don't need, file away what you do need in healthy departments, and make room for the new boxes and the new things that are coming in from new experiences. That is super important, okay? That's how you want to look at it. That's how I looked at it. Okay, healing sucks. The healing process sucks. It hurts. It fucking hurts, you guys. It hurts. But it's the same way as if you like, all right, a lot of you women out there get surgeries. You guys are getting amazing fucking body contouring and altering, surgeries, and the healing process fucking sucks balls. It hurts. But afterwards, you look dope as fuck. So much so that you guys have invested millions of dollars into these surgeries so you can have like careers gearing toward them and so on and so forth, because it is beneficial for you and it's a smart investment, I guess a lot of you like to think. So that's great. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's dope. But you guys be looking dope as fuck after the ugly shit, after the swelling, after the inflammation, after the pain, after the invasive surgery, after somebody has to knock you cold the fuck out because you wouldn't even allow somebody to cut you open consciously and fucking reshape all your shit up. It's fucking crazy. It'll do something to your brain. So you knock out, and then you wake up and you go through all this pain for all this fucking post-op surgery shit. It's the same thing with your spirit and your mind, okay? You have to do that. You have to do that shit too. So yeah, so the numbing out is a symptom, and the numbing out is a symptom because it's when the person refuses to heal. Thus far, you're going to furthermore numb out by forcing yourself to feel these other chemicals that we create in our bodies. When we smoke pot, when we do drugs, when we drink alcohol, when we have sex, when we meet new people, when we go shopping, those things let off endorphins, and those endorphins are the same things that make us feel good. You know, the antidepressants, little amounts of them. So we crash and burn on different motherfucking levels, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that. That numbing out process doesn't really allow you to heal correctly. And then when you get fucked up and you start blacking out and shit like that, that's when you wind up like, letting out those dark sides of you that are unhealed, thus for putting you in a dangerous predicament where your behavior can put you at risk because you're depressed. So you're self-sabotaging now. You're fucking random people. You're doing crazy shit. You're fighting out in clubs. You're fighting with the people you love. You wake up, you have no recollection of it, but then you're faced with lifelong fucking repercussions. This shit is important to understand while you're facing depression or, healing when you're supposed to be healing. Depression is lack of healing. You understand? You would just have lifetimes where you need to fucking heal the old traumas, the old shit that we all go through. It's a must. It's a must. This is mastery. It's a must. The regeneration process of the healing is why it's important. It's like a caterpillar, you guys. I always like to use that. A caterpillar, it crawls, but it does not see things that the butterfly gets to see. And when the caterpillar is going through that transition, it's dying. It's dying. A part of them is dying. Okay? So you might be in that depression where you feel like, I want to die. And rightfully so. You do want to die, but it's not physically. You're misconstruing that concept of the death that you're going through. The death is really a transition. It's an old self that needs to die. Kill that motherfucker. Kill that motherfucker. Kill the person that thinks it needs to die in order to stop this pain from ever occurring, because that process doesn't understand things on a mature level. That thought process is not grown. It's not mature. It needs to understand that an old self in you needs to die in order for you to truly live on and live a new heights, new levels. Okay, so I understand that feeling of wanting to die. I understand that feeling of wanting to not being able to live with themselves. Okay, I understand those things, And there's some people like that do things suicidal. I don't even want to get into suicide. It's such a very, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there where I felt like I want to die. I've expressed it. I've said it. I've told people like, yo, I just want to die. Like, I don't give a fuck. I've been there. I've been in those places. But at those times, now I understand that at those times, I was not undoing properly. I was self-sabotaging a lot. I was numbing out a lot. And I was blaming and projecting my trauma onto everyone around me. So I didn't like myself. Okay? So those things made me want to kill myself or feel like that. But what I had to do and what I had to understand was I needed to kill that person that was behaving like that, was refusing and resisting the growth. So I killed that motherfucker. I killed that person. That person is no longer around. I embrace my growth opportunities. When I feel down, when I see that I did something that I can't live with or I don't want to I don't like myself about, I immediately go into my healing phases and it's less depressing. You know what I'm saying? It's less depressing each time that I go into it. So I learned that this last healing process, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. It makes me feel so good. So the last thing that I felt triggered my depression that I was blaming at the time, which was like, whatever I was upset at, or you know what I mean, I wound up now being grateful for it. Forgiving it, letting it pass, and being super grateful for the experience, because what I learned was that I needed to heal. That depression is not a sickness. That it's not really, a brokenness. It's not something that's gonna, it'll be around forever because it's healing. It's a healing process, and you need to embrace it because it's important. It's an important process of evolution. It's just fucking important. You need to do it. You need to go through healing. Sometimes you need to shut off. And when I started to look at those things, then I didn't give a fuck how long I stood in that healing process. Because when I came out of it, it was glorious. Beautifully glorious. I felt so strong. I felt so like in my element, like, yo, I'm ready to attack this shit again. You know what I'm saying? And I came up stronger. And I'm doing things that I'm more happier with. More things like last year my career was in a really good place. It was beautiful. I was doing great things. I was managing Mac, which was one of the dopest artists that I thought that I've ever met. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mac is definitely dope. I love him to death. But it was stuff that I was doing, and you couldn't tell me. And after falling out in that area and changing my career, I really was like, yo, what the fuck am I gonna do? I thought this was it for me. I thought that I this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to manage artists. I want to be in the industry. And then I realized that was a part of one of my unhealthy belief systems, and I undid it. And I still can be a part of any industry that I want to do, and anything. Just I don't have to. It doesn't have to be attached to things that I didn't like or things that didn't make me feel good or honor me or whatever my problem was. You know what I'm saying? So my transition from last year's depression and this year is just absolutely fucking beautiful. Beautiful. I'm telling you, like the blessings that I've been running into this year or after like processing my healing have been fucking amazing and way more rewarding than anything that I was doing last year. So I'm just super grateful for the process and allowing myself to go through it. And then I eventually came back out of my healing and got back into my, regularly scheduled program with people, but in a healthier way, in a new and approved way, which is, it's good. It's needed. In conclusion, I just want you guys to know that depression is looked at, it's $1 billion industry, you guys. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just looked at in a way that people rather us be depressed. There's people in the world that want us to be depressed because they're gonna make a lot of money off of it. These are the questions that I put out and to myself, and these are the things that help me out through my shit. Okay? So depression questions. Funny. Anyway, what are some of the things I don't like about myself? Okay? Write down a list. That's the first question you want to ask yourself. What are some of the things I don't like about myself? Traits. It doesn't necessarily have to be like your physical things only. I mean, you can put it's anything. It's anything. You can like the fact that that you was born in a certain type of a family. You don't like the fact, it could be that you don't like the fact that you were born in a certain type of demographic or whatever it is. Like anything that you do not like about yourself, place that into this list. But don't write too many things. Don't do 20, 30, 40, 50 fucking things because you're going to be upset by fourth question. By number 4 question, you'll be tight. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be like, oh, God, I should never put so many things. So you'll see why. So write down a list of traits. So for example, one of the things I don't like about myself is that I'm very aggressive sometimes. Well, I didn't like. Now like I said, I've changed my thought. So one of the things was, Janessa, what do you don't like about yourself? I don't like that I'm aggressive. I don't like I'm aggressive. And then number 2, then you take your first answer and you compare it to number 2. Number 2 is what exactly, and I want you to give great detail, okay? What exactly about each one of those traits you don't like? So I don't like that my aggression makes people intimidated by me sometimes, or men especially. Like this bitch is headstrong and she's aggressive, and guys really want like dainty little girls, and I don't come off like that. I mean, I'm dainty, but I don't come off like that. Okay, so that was one of my things. Okay, so you want to write down all your things. You want to give great detail about each one of those things. Okay, so you're going to make yourself a second list of each thing you don't like about the first list. Okay, now number 3, what would you like to see yourself as instead of the negative? Okay, so you're going to replace each one of your negative traits with a positive trait. So Janessa doesn't like that she's aggressive because it intimidates guys or makes them feel like you're just too aggressive for me. So I'd like to be more, let me think. I would like to be more subtle. Now for 4, you're going to write a sentence of each positive trait, including yourself and an action. So I would make a sentence saying, Janessa subtly mentioned she'd like to be held because I'm aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of bitch to be like, what the fuck? You don't hug me no more. Instead of being like, babe, I miss you. I miss your feeling, or I miss your touch, or whatever the fuck. I'm rough. You know what I'm saying? So those are my things. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to answer these questions in that order, and these are the things that are going to start to help you see how you have to start replacing your old pattern thoughts with new pattern thoughts. Okay, your old belief systems with new belief systems. This is how you're going to create a healthy new neuroplasticity brain format for you to start thinking, so that way the old patterns don't occur when it comes to new experiences that you're intaking into life. It's super important. I know I'm scattered. I tried to do the whole note thing yesterday. I killed it, but I didn't reformat the SD card, but I did now, so hopefully we won't go through this for a while. But I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love you guys. I know you guys might be going through some stuff out there. You're not alone. You're not alone. But what you're going through is necessary. You have to go through that in order for you to level up. This is mastery. This is self-mastery. You got to start learning how to approach yourself, because everywhere you go in life, there you are. All I'm saying is, like, you're not alone, okay? And what really needs to pass away, is the thought processes, the old belief systems, okay? So I challenge you to think of it like that and feel good about that. Even if you can get the concept, you ain't got to get up, you ain't got to do much, you ain't got to show up to life if that's how you feel right now. I say you heal, but I want you to approach it like you're healing and not like you're broken, okay? You're beautiful. Your transition is beautiful. And when you come out of this, I promise you that you're going to touch levels that you weren't touching before. You're going to see things in a different way. It's like looking at it's like looking at life with a tinge of brighter color. When you come out of these things, these leveling up, it's like all of a sudden your senses are stronger and you can understand the world different. So I applaud those of you that are getting through every single day. If you got through your depression today, congratulations, bravo, attaboy, attagirl, good for you. You did something tiny today, good for you. Tomorrow will be better. You know what I'm saying? Every day. And if you can't, you just still healing. And that's okay, all right? That's okay. So I just want to tell y'all that I love you, all right? And if you have good people in your life, pull up to those good people, you guys. Hold on to them and tell them, like, yo, I'm healing. So just bear with me, you know what I'm saying? And, I said this yesterday. And this is another message that I have. And this was a message that I had yesterday for the boys that are watching me, especially my boys, my guys, my homeboys. I love you guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know how I am, and I'm very passionate about the way I am with my friends and my people, and I love you guys with all my heart. And I know that one of the old belief systems and belief patterns that you guys have, behavioral patterns that you have, is not being vulnerable. But you have to be vulnerable, you guys. You have to be vulnerable with at least yourself. Okay, with at least yourself, in order for you to heal those places, so you could show up in those areas that's needed. It's okay. It's okay for you to be vulnerable, and don't worry about how it makes you look, because you're growing. These are growth things. And when you're able to be vulnerable like that, that shit is like graduation day on a spiritual realm. You understand? And it's okay. Don't deprive yourself of experiences that you need. There's a power of exchange. You guys are operating in one area of your frequencies, and you have to attract the other experiences in life. But if you're blocking yourself, you're resisting those experiences, you guys. So I need y'all to open that up. Don't be afraid to open that up and pull up and call me and talk to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all usually do come to me anyway, but I'm here. If you don't know me and you're watching these videos, if you don't know me, reach out to me. Hit me up on my email. I'll video back. It'll be general, you know what I'm saying? But I do give private sessions. I give private sessions. So you can hit me up. We could FaceTime. We could Skype. I do charge. I take PayPal. But I do give consultations, life coach consultations, and I help people through things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, if you're going through a depression, you could be going through, just like, yo, I just met somebody new and I don't know how to swag this out, and I don't know how to, approach my emotions, and I have issues, or whatever the hell it is. You don't even got to be issues. You could just need somebody to help you get to be your better self and swag things out on a healthier plane, and just have a positive person. If you're like me, you don't have many positive people. You are the positive person. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to be the positive person in your circle, or you don't have many positive people around you. Reach out to me, okay? I give private sessions. I do life coaching. I usually do things word of mouth, but being that I started to do the vlog, I was told that I should be doing these videos and whatever the case may be. So I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to just, I trust that the universe is bringing me a lot of blessings. Hit me up, motivationalmonsters@gmail.com. You can also go onto the website, motivationalmonsters.org, where you can read more about my non-for-profit and the things that I do for the community and other things that I'm into. All right, so I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Stay strong. I hope this video didn't offend anybody. If it did, I apologize. Have a good one. It's a mad rainy day today, but I'm excited about it.